Remember the movie The Emperor's New Groove? Emperor Cusco would definitely enjoy a burrito, fast and easy. A burrito 500 years ago. Sounds like a joke, but actually something very similar already existed with the Aztecs. So here's the question. The Aztecs and the Maya. They already had huge cities, hundreds of thousands of people, no fridges, no delivery, no modern kitchens, and all those people had to eat every single day. For example, the Aztecs had no pack animals. No carts. Everything was carried by people or moved by water, so food had to be simple, fast, and scalable. But who were the Aztecs and the Maya? The Aztecs were a powerful empire in central Mexico. They peaked between the 14th and 16th centuries. In just a few hundred years, they built a massive system of cities and trade. The Maya weren't one country. They were many cities. They lasted longer and developed writing, math, and complex culture. Fun fact, the Maya calendar was more accurate than the European one at the time. And Aztec markets were so organized, they even had judges. They controlled quality and fair trade, and fair. Let's step into the largest Aztec city, Tenochtitlan. Estimates say it had around 200 to 300,000 people. One of the biggest cities in the world at that time. The city stood on a lake. Instead of streets, canals. Instead of carts, boats, food, goods, and people moved on water. Around the city were chinampas, floating farms. They could produce multiple harvests a year. The city was always moving. Craftsmen worked, traders moved, porters carried goods, and most people simply didn't have time to cook full meals at home. They needed food, fast. Markets were packed with ready-to-eat meals. You could grab something hot without ever stopping. And this is where the key element appears, the market. The most famous one, Tlatelolco. Every day, tens of thousands of people came here, thousands of vendors. The market was highly organized, separate zones for different goods, separate rows for food. They sold everything, vegetables, corn, beans, fish, birds, spices, cacao, ready-made food, drinks. People didn't just come here to shop, they came to eat on the spot, fast, or take food with them. This was basically a massive, ancient food court, centuries before modern fast food even existed. Now imagine a normal day at the market Tlatelolco. People trading, eating, someone buying tamales, someone drinking hot atole, and suddenly a slave starts running through the crowd. His master runs after him. And this is where it gets interesting. By law, if a slave escaped through the market, he had a chance to become free. But if the master failed to catch him, he could take anyone who got in his way. Now imagine the crowd. People realize what's happening and instantly move aside. Some drop their food, some jump out of the way, some just freeze. A perfectly organized market turns into chaos. Yeah, that was also part of the ancient food court. Sometimes you didn't just come here to eat, you could change your entire life. Now the most interesting part, what did they actually eat? Everything started with corn. It was the foundation of their entire diet. They processed it, ground it, and turned it into dough. And then, the key format. A filling wrapped in a corn tortilla. Inside could be meat, fish, vegetables, or spicy sauces. Basically, a burrito. You could hold it in your hand, eat it on the go. No plates needed, but that wasn't the only option. Tamales, corn dough with filling wrapped in leaves, steamed in advance, easy to carry and eat anywhere. They stayed warm and were ready to eat. Tortillas, the base of everything, cooked fresh right on the spot. They were food, a spoon, and packaging all in one. Atole, a thick corn drink, but not just a drink. It was food, hot, filling, fast, and there were quick snacks like roasted grasshoppers and other insects, crispy, salty, and full of nutrients, a cheap and effective source of protein, sold in small portions for people on the move. And here's the key idea. This wasn't random, this was a system. Food you can cook fast, sell fast, and eat fast. And this wasn't chaotic. It was structured. Each vendor specialized. Some sold drinks, some sold prepared food, some focused on just one product. There was control. Officials and judges monitored the market. Rules were strict and clearly enforced. They checked quality and fair trade. People didn't just barter, they used cacao beans as money, a standardized way to price everyday goods. And most importantly, this worked every single day. because the whole city depended on it. If you simplify it, this is fast food. Fast, convenient, mass-produced, standardized, built to feed a city that never stops, just without brands and logos. Fast food wasn't invented in the 20th century. It appears wherever large cities appear. It's a response to scale, speed, and demand. And the Aztecs solved this problem 500 years ago. And they weren't the only ones. Next, the Ottoman Empire.